Hey guys, this is Genesis here. Today I am doing some more bug fixing and improving Vcom AI to hopefully get it closer to release. The bug I'm focusing on today is the bug where AI wouldn't follow waypoints if you gave them waypoints like in the editor, and they would just run back and forth, back and forth. So where I started recording right now, it probably is an hour into trying to figure out what's going on. That fix I just did right there, unit allow fleeing one, disabling that actually fixed it because the behavior of what that does actually changed for what it used to do. So I didn't know it yet. I'm doing some more testing right now, but you can see I'm just kind of loading it up here. So I'm trying to just get the AI more well-rounded and things like that. And I'm just generally fixing some bugs. I'm trying to think of anything really big happened this time. This was actually more of the boring ones. Wasn't creating anything. It was a lot of just bug fixing. So this one is just primarily that. So you can see I got them to actually move there. So now if you place waypoints down in the editor with Vcom AI, it will actually follow them and won't run back and forth like maniacs like they used to. I can't believe it was as simple as fixing a single line, but that's that. So it's done. So I'm just going through here right now, and I'm actually just fixing a bunch of other little bugs here. I can't remember what I do next. Let's see. I'm shooting at the ground here. Just trying to make sure the AI don't respond to me. And actually, I go ahead and allow fleeing. You can see when I allow it, they actually do fall back. So I was making sure that is what fixed it. And so with that tested, and I'm just looking up like what it does, and it doesn't do what I thought it did. So that's good. See, there's some errors at the top there. I actually pretty soon here open up all the files and just try to just squash as many bugs as possible. So one thing that Vcom AI still is bad about, much better after today, but it's still bad about in the public release version is if there are no hostiles placed around the map at all. So there's if you just have Blue 4, just have Op 4, or or have you, the scripts will kind of break because a lot of the scripts check for enemies and where they think an enemy is, but there's no enemies around for it to check to. They'll throw out a bunch of errors. So I need to make sure that I go ahead and do a check for that and make sure the scripts just exit or have appropriate compensations for that. Because in my mind, while I was scripting it, is like, of course, there's always going to be enemies around. So why would there not be enemies around? That's the point of the game. But I can see several situations where that is the case. So just getting that set up right now. Yeah, I'm trying to think what right now. There's actually not much to say this time around, which is okay. I'm just more of kind of going around and playing around with the bugs, trying to fix everything, watching how the AI move. At the end, I do have um, two AI groups fight it out. I'm actually pretty happy overall with how they were. So if you want to see that, either skip to the end of the video or just chill and relax and listen to my voice. So the couple things here that you can kind of see about Vcom AI is that right there is the danger brain that I talked about in a previous episode, and that's just different ways for the AI to react that vanilla AI really don't. So vanilla AI having explosions, like if you set a C4 down, right, next to an AI, not close enough to kill them, but just close enough for them to see or to hear, and you set it off, they won't respond. They won't do anything. So that's what that does. It adds some of that stuff in there, adds in so AI actually hear gunshots at a distance. They actually respond to it much better. And granted, vanilla AI is starting to get much better about that, but it's still kind of lackluster in their response. Um, and the response is typically still to lay down and point at the enemy. And I'll have to do a vanilla comparison to Vcom AI again pretty soon because it's been a while since I've done one of those videos. It's a good way to really compare the differences for people to see. And so as I'm going through here, I'm kind of doing what I was talking about before and just doing some checks to make sure the scripts exit properly. If you're really savvy and you're looking at this, I actually make a mistake here that I just want to pull my hair out at the end. I'm putting, for some of these, I'm putting the I don't even know what that's called. Putting one of the brackets in the improper place, and so obviously it throws off the entire script, and I'm doing that in like multiple scripts. So I have to go back and fix that. Um, yeah, I wish I knew the name of those. You can kind of see right there, like those are like the little squiggly brackets. Those are a very valuable tool. They're a type of condition for checking for conditions that can really save some script time, some frame rates. So that's what I'm trying to improve that and go back and optimize or what I see optimization is going to happen. So, yep, there we go. I just noticed that. And I was like, shit, now I have to go back and fix all that. Here I am using RTSE like always. You'll see me use that a lot. Always using this to find things. One little thing just happened right there I thought was kind of cute. I fired my gun. This is something I fixed later. I fired my gun, and I think this is someone complained about this as well, and it shot the ground. Well, that bullet causes a crater, and I did not know this, but so bullets cause craters, of course, and the AI will respond to them. So I shot the ground, and the AI thought an enemy was nearby. So one of them couldn't see an enemy, so they threw a grenade up at the building where they thought the enemy was. And so I needed to add in a check for that to make sure that, hey, if there is no enemy even close, that you shouldn't even bother being scared. Um, I should have done it before, but part of me was being stubborn. Like, if you're just firing, yeah, shouldn't do that. And this is my test right now. You can see I fired, and a lot of the AI started moving again, which is really good. So I fired, the bullet hit the ground, they all took cover, and then they kept going into the waypoints, which is excellent. That's exactly what I want. Well, one thing you saw there is two of them were laying down in the middle of the freaking road. Well, those were the two leaders. Those were the two squad leaders, and they just laid there. And that was another frustrating moment because I'm like, well, I could have sworn I had a script to make sure that they move. And sure enough, I open it up eventually, and it's the fixes I just did to prevent some script errors from polluting the RPT file is the very same cause of that. I needed to change it up a little bit, and I'll do that here in a little bit. So right here is I have the explosion detection here, and what I just do is a simple check, and I'm not too happy with how it is right now. So what it does is it checks for an enemy nearby. If it doesn't have an enemy, then it will set the enemy distance to 000 array. If the enemy is greater than 1,000 meters away, then the crater list will return empty, which means that the AI won't respond to it. So that could be abused. Say if you have a sniper who's 1,200 meters away shooting at the AI and they hit the crater, like the bullet makes a hole somewhere, the AI won't respond because the enemy is too far away, unless there's another one who's closer. But you get the point. There's other ways AI will react. As soon as you hit one, they'll respond. As soon as you kill one, or even as soon as they hear you firing, if you're in range, they will respond. So I'm hoping that doesn't cause too many issues. So here I am looking at that. So I'm looking at these guys. I'm like, why aren't they moving? And you can see me typing in some debug stuff. I want to see they're all in the combat formation, which they shouldn't be, because nothing has happened for a couple of minutes now. So I have the script. You can see there. That's the leader. All the things the leaders have to worry about that they decide for the squad to do. So what I do in here is just changed it. Instead of exiting the script when that happens, I just have it set it to a certain, array that will ensure that they go back to being normal stance. Okay, so yeah, this was a little bit more of a short one here, but or I say quite a bit more boring. But I always like to finish the videos off at least AI fighting each other, me being able to see that, see how it's unfolding and how just in general how I feel about it. So I'm going to export that now. We're going to load that up, and I'll talk about it. I know this battle, it doesn't have everything, so it's not entirely everything. Like the AI don't use vehicles, they don't use aircraft, and it also, not all AI die, because it just, I actually was surprised about what they did. Alright, so here I'm just enabling some map marker things right here, which I have this function in the game, which is very helpful if you're making your mission. It is laggy as all hell. I need to find a better way to do it, but yeah, on the map there you can see it. Wow, this is really hard to watch 'cause it's moving so fast. But on the map you can see it marks where all the AI move, where they're moving and things like that. It allows you to see a little bit more visually the movement. You can see right now that the Op4 is choosing to stay in wedge, and Blue 4 is choosing to stay in this like staggered column, I believe. And they're kind of moving up that way. For whatever reason, Blue 4 thought that would work better for him. And so, it looks like they just changed to wedge now, though. I'm looking at it. So they go ahead, they're in wedge now. And it looks like they're approaching. You can barely see the dots on there, but they're going. And so they make contact right here. And there's instantly when Blue 4, the leader gets shot and killed, and they deploy smoke and they crawl away because they're obviously on the open. So Op4 also passes to the right here to get cover or concealment, at least in those bushes. So I didn't know this, but Op4 also lost someone as well in that exchange. So they're kind of even here. You can see Op4 kind of backpedaling. Some of the units kind of going back and forth. You can't hear the sound right now, but in just a minute or two, you'll start to see they start to reform here. So Blue 4 fell back to that little house right there, and they're shooting. And I was zooming around because I heard shooting from somewhere. I just couldn't find it. This guy right here, they have like a sniper. I see he just killed him. This guy right here. I'm going way too fast. Jeez. Um, you can see this just the sniping. But you can see they're flanking. They're doing what they need to do. It's working really well. They're actually staying a lot more mobile, moving. So that's all for today. Hopefully, I get a more exciting one later. So thanks for watching, guys. Bye bye.